Hi, how's everyone doing today? Have any of you ever been to a flea market and had to bargain for something that you wanted to buy, and hopefully you got it down to a cheaper price, and you went back and forth with the vendor and whatnot, and you ended up getting what you wanted for the price that you may have had to compromise a little bit for, but so that's an example of positional bargaining, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. My name is Bailey Peters, and there's three key components on how to be successful when you are positional bargaining, and that is knowing what you want, being strong, and being willing to compromise. So first we're going to talk about knowing what you want. So when you walk in to a meeting, because most likely when you're doing positional bargaining, you're going to be bargaining for a salary, like with your boss or anything. It's what you would do in the professional job place. So you got to know what you want when you walk in there. You can't let people push you around. You got to get straight to the point. So for example, you walk in and they sit you down and they say, "Oh, you're gonna get a 10% raise," and you know you're worth more than that, and so you know you want a 15% raise, and then hopefully they'll understand that this guy knew what he wanted and he's not going to get pushed around by anybody. So next we're going to talk about being strong. So when you're in that meeting, one good thing is you never want to completely back down unless it gets too complicated. But so when you're in the meeting and your boss is telling you no, you can only take 10%, you got to know what your worth is. You got to know how much you are worth, when you're doing, whether it's a salary raise, bonuses, or even when you're going in that first for the job, you got to know how much you should be getting paid during all this, and you got to stay strong and not back down when you're using this bargaining tactic. Next is be willing to compromise. So you don't want to be going in there and you don't want to be too stubborn, because that's never a good look, especially if you're going in there for your job interview and they ask you how much you want to get paid. You never want to be too stubborn, but you also want to keep in mind the other two, where you want to know what you want and you want to be strong. So here's a little video clip on
Miss Erin
compromise.
presents The Art of the Compromise. A compromise is a really useful way to solve a problem between two people. In order for a compromise to work, both people get a little of what they want, and both people give up a little of what they want. Let's look at a couple of examples. These two boys are arguing over the rules of a game. They each play the game a little bit differently. They can compromise by playing the game following one set of rules first, and then playing it again using the other set. If you have trouble deciding who gets to have their way first, a game of rock, paper, scissors, or a coin toss are two quick and fair ways to make the decision. This kind of turn-taking is a simple, easy solution for many kinds of problems. Look at these two boys arguing again. One wants the windows open, and the other wants them closed. They can compromise by having the windows open on the way to the store and closed on the way back. It feels more fair if you can take turns having your way first. So the next time you're feeling frustrated with someone because you can't agree on something, give a compromise a try. You will give up a little of what you want and get a little of what you want. And you will be done with the disagreement. You'll be moving on and feeling better in no time. You may even have...
So back to the compromise. So that's just a simple way of seeing something you have to give a little to get a little, and so yeah, when you're going into your boss's office and he's really stubborn about giving you that extra 2%, you have to be able to compromise and know like that you need your job and you don't want to be too stubborn. So I'm going to talk to you about knowing what you want, being strong, and being willing to compromise, and how those are 3 really good tactics in positional bargaining. I hope that this will help you in the whatever professional field you go into. And so, does anybody have any questions?